started off by saying, for your freedom and for ours. We have the most important thing that binds us together are our values. Freedom, freedom of the press, making sure that people are, the government is transparent, making sure people have the right to vote, etc. And we had a very, I hope we haven't kept you waiting. It's good to be back in this room again. But I hope we didn't keep you waiting too long. But we were discussing a lot of things in private, not the least of which was that, as I pointed out, and my colleagues, I confident agree with me, is that America's ability to meet its role in other parts of the world rests upon a united Europe and a secure Europe. We have learned from sad experience in 2 world wars when we've stayed out of and not been involved with stability in Europe, it always comes back to haunt us, the United States. So I've been saying for a long time, as a senator who visited here, as a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, as vice president for 8 years, now as president, that stability in Europe is critically important to the United States in terms of our interest, not only in Europe, but around the world. And so what we talked about is the need for us to stay in constant contact and know what one another are doing. The United States, and my colleagues on this side of the table have heard me say it many, many times, we take Article 5 as a sacred commitment, not a throwaway, a sacred commitment that relates to every member of NATO. One of the things that I thanked the President for downstairs was the fact that the single most important criteria in this time of a changing world, so much is changing, not just here, but in other parts of the world, is that NATO stay absolutely, completely, thoroughly united. That there be no separation in our points of view. That whatever we do in unison. And everyone comes along. I'm confident that Vladimir Putin was counting on being able to divide NATO, to be able to separate the eastern flank from the west, be able to separate nations based on past histories. But he hadn't been able to do it. We've all stayed together. And so I just think it's so important that we, Poland and the United States, keep in lockstep in how we're proceeding. And also, we do acknowledge that Poland is taking on a significant responsibility that I don't think should just be Poland's, it should be the whole world, all of NATO's responsibility. The fact that you have so many Ukrainians seeking refuge in this country of Poland. We understand that because we have in our southern border thousands of people a day, literally, not figuratively, trying to get into the United States. But we believe that we, the United States, should do our part relative to Ukraine as well by opening our borders to another 100,000 people. But that's, and in addition to that, I think it's important that we are in constant contact as about how we each wish to proceed relative to what Russia is doing and how to proceed. And so I just want to thank you, Mr. President, for being available, for being so cooperative, for being and letting us know exactly what's on your mind, what's on the mind of the Polish people, what their concerns are, and what they think our responsibilities are. But I'll end where I began, and that is we take as a sacred obligation Article 5, sacred obligation of Article 5. And you can count on that. And not just, I'll end where I began, for your freedom is ours. So thank you very much.